All right, so now we're going to start to implement our storage class. And I think the first thing that I want to do with that class is the limit, because in the last video I set it to 1800, but if I reload, of course, it goes back to the initial 2000. So what we'll do is create a new class, and I'm going to put it down at the bottom, but above the app class. I want the app class to be the last one, because that's sort of the initializer. So let's create a class of storage, and also, I don't think I mentioned this, but all of these methods are going to be static, because we don't need multiple instances of storage, right? It's local storage. There's only one entity, so we don't need to instantiate a storage class. I just want to be able to call storage dot and then whatever the method. So first of all, we'll create a get calorie limit. So we're going to say get static get calorie limit. All right, now we'll have a default here. So let's pass in, let's say default limit, and we'll set that to 2000. Remember, we can set values to our arguments, or default values like this. And then we'll just initialize a variable called calorie limit, and we want to check to see if it's in local storage already. So let's say if local storage dot get item calorie limit, that's going to be the key. So if that is equal to null, then we're going to set that calorie limit to the default limit. Else, then we want to set that calorie limit to whatever's in local storage. Now, again, I want to make sure this is a number, so I'm going to use a plus sign here and then say local storage dot get item and calorie limit. Okay, and then we just want to return the calorie limit outside of the if statement, and that will get it. Okay, and then to set the calorie limit, that's going to be pretty easy. So let's say static set calorie limit, and that's going to take in calorie limit, and we're just going to call local storage dot set item, and this is going to be calorie limit. Okay, that's the key we want to set, and we're going to set it to whatever is passed in. So pretty simple. Now, where we're going to use this is up here. So in our tracker, when we initialize calorie limit, instead of a hard-coded 2000, I'm going to say storage. Remember, these are static methods, so I call it on the class itself. I don't have to say like something equals new storage. I don't have to instantiate it. So I can say storage dot and then get calorie limit. Okay, and if you want to pass something in here, you can, because remember, it can take a default. Otherwise, it'll be 2000. So, yeah, I think that should be good. And then when we set the limit, so if we come down to, when we come down to set limit, all we have to do is add storage dot set calorie limit, and we're going to pass in here calorie limit. All right, so now it's at 2000. That's the default. If I change it to 1800 and save and then reload, you'll see that it's still 1800. Now, see, when I reload, you see the flicker of these numbers. That's because in the HTML, I still have the hard-coded numbers, so you want to get rid of those. So this 2000 right here, this 400, all this stuff is dynamic, so we don't need that. 16, and I think that's it. All right, so now even when I reload, you can see there's no flicker. If I set it back to 2000, or let's do 2200, Save that, reload. There we go. And if we look in our application tab, and let's go to local storage, and you can see we have a key with calorie limit. This items, I'm not sure what that is. That's from something else. I can delete that. But yeah, we have a calorie limit here. I can delete it from here as well. And then if I reload, it goes back to the default of 2000. All right, so now in the next video, we're going to start to add the functionality to make our workouts and food items stick, right? We want to be able to add them and have them stay even when we refresh the page.